Hi, it's Lindsey Carlson here. Continuing my unboxing of my parents' record collection, still over at their house right now. This is going to be a three-part video, but there's so many records, I think I'm going to split it into four, just because I want to make this a little easier to break down. The first video alone took like 8 minutes, so let's go ahead and start with part two. We have Boz Scaggs, Silk Degrees. Of course, Lido Shuffle and Lowdown became massive hits here, so another classic. Cat Stevens, Foreigner. Cat Stevens, another guy I don't know a whole lot outside of the fairly big hits. The Eagles, Hotel California, probably their greatest studio album. And of course, the first one they did with Joe Walsh on guitar. Dave Mason, Mariposa de Oro. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dave Mason, of course, was a member of Traffic. As a solo artist, he's probably best known for the song We Just Disagree. Simon and Garfunkel's greatest hits. These two, of course, made some amazing, pop anthems, singer-songwriter tunes together. Seals and Crofts' greatest hits. Yeah, Diamond Girl and Summer Breeze probably being their biggest hits. Dave Mason, It's Like You Never Left. Another Dave Mason record. I'm seeing some familiar names in the liner notes here, like Jim Keltner, he played on the Traveling Wilburys albums. Greg Reeves, he played with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Carl Rattle, he played with Derek and the Dominoes. Stevie Wonder even plays harmonica on a song on here. Crosby and Nash live. Like I said in my last video, I didn't realize there were albums that were just Crosby and Nash. Billy Joel, 52nd Street. Loggins and Messina, The Best of Friends. This being their first greatest hits compilation. Cat Stevens, Buddha and the Chocolate Box. This one's even got like a little comic strip on the back. Got some interesting psychedelic artwork on there. Boston, the 1976 debut album. Another one of those albums, I think there was a period in time where literally everybody owned this one. Rest in peace, Brad Delp and Sib Haitian. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, So Far. This is a greatest hits compilation for the quartet, but they only had 2 albums out at the time, so it's kind of odd they released this. It does have one additional song on here, Ohio, which was a big hit single unto itself, so I guess that's why a lot of people bought the greatest hits, due to the fact that they didn't have that many albums out as a trio and quartet yet. Kenny Loggins, Night Watch. Kenny Loggins, I'm mostly familiar with his 80s stuff. He did a lot of stuff for 80s movie soundtracks, perhaps most notably Top Gun. We have Kenny Loggins with Jim Messina sitting in. This is the first Loggins and Messina album. And this is probably best known for the song House at Pooh Corner. James Taylor, JT, Your Smiling Face, that was a really big hit. There's the Gateful. Yeah. And one of the people pictured in here is Peter Asher. Peter Asher, of course, was part of the pop rock duo Peter and Gordon back in the 60s British invasion, but he went into a production and management career after this. Leland Sklar actually played bass on this too. He's one of those really famous session guys. I went to a Rock Awards show in Hollywood many years ago, and he was one of the guys getting an award. Loggins and Messina, Motherlode. I don't think I realized how many Loggins and Messina records there were. Jimmy Buffett, Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes. I have been going back and listening to a lot of Jimmy Buffett stuff lately. This one will forever be known for the song Margaritaville, which is like by far his biggest hit. And of course, it's the name of his chain of bars that he had. Sadly, he passed away last year. And then the title song, Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes, was a pretty big hit as well. Nice photo montage in the gatefold there. Neil Diamond Gold. Neil Diamond's got some great pop hits out. And it says this was recorded live at the Troubadour, so I guess this is a live album. Troubadour, of course, a very famous music venue in California, even well into the days of the 80s metal scene. John Fogerty, center field, the old Creedence Clearwater Revival singer. Over 10 years after that band disbands, he ends up coming back with this album, which has become one of the most celebrated of his career. John Denver's greatest hits. The Charlie Daniels Band, High Lonesome. And most people just know Charlie Daniels for The Devil Went Down to Georgia, which was a pretty big hit, but he does have a pretty big discography, and it's well worth checking out. I need to get a few more of his albums myself. Another Charlie Daniels Band album. This is Fire on the Mountain. Neil Diamond, Love at the Greek, recorded at the Greek Theater. There's no escaping Neil Diamond, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And this has a nice inner gatefold shot of him on the concert stage. Paul McCartney, Band on the Run. This probably being Paul McCartney's most famous solo or Wings album. And if you look closely, one of the actors that's pictured on the cover here is Christopher Lee, probably best known for playing Dracula in all those old Hammer horror movies. But he's been in everything since then. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. He was in his 90s. And the last one we have in this stack is Simon & Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this was their last album. I believe they did 5 studio albums total, plus the soundtrack to the movie The Graduate. And that does it for this stack of vinyls from my parents' house. How about you? What's your favorite thing in this stack? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.